Do you need a tool to help you with your grief and your other feelings that you may be experiencing? Hi, I'm Kelly Doherty with Center for Informed Grief, and I'm going to teach you one of my favorite tools. It's called EFT or tapping. And I have to say, before I do it, some of you may be familiar with this tool, and you may watch me do it and be like, Kelly doesn't know what she's doing. This is not at all how I was taught, and that's okay. I'm going to teach it to you probably a little differently than you know it. And that's awesome. I try to teach it a little faster and a little easier because I know sometimes the long-windedness of regular EFT can be a lot. And I know a lot of people just won't use it because of that. So first, what I want you to do is I want you to rate whatever feeling you're currently experiencing at this time. Maybe it's grief and all the feelings associated with it. Maybe it's sadness or guilt or anxiety. Just go ahead and write that number down somewhere, just so you can keep track of it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to follow along with me. I want you to do what I do with my hands, and I want you to repeat the words that I say. So first, we're going to start by tapping on the top of our head. Now that we have our number and our feeling, we're just going to think about that feeling, and we're going to see if we can get that number to come down. So tap right on the top of our head, just enough that you feel it. You don't need to beat yourself up. 5 to 7 times is enough. And say, I release and let this go. Now in between the eyebrows, right above the nose, I release and let this go. Now next to the eyes, you can kind of alternate there too and doing a little bilateral stimulation, which I like. I release and let it go. Under the eyes, I release and let it go. Collarbone, for me, it's right where the collarbone starts. Other people kind of like to tap over here like this so they can feel it. And say, it's safe to let it go. And then the last point is what's called the wrist grab. And for those of you that have ever worn a seasickness band, you know exactly where that point is on your wrist. So it's about 2 fingers width, and then right under there, there's a point. So what I like to do is I like to just grab my wrist like this. So I know I've gotten that point. And I want you to say it with conviction. I do let it go. Now keep holding that wrist and nice deep breath in. And for those of you that are saying, wait a minute, I don't want to let my grief go. My grief is my connection to my loved one. It's the way I still have my unexpressed love for them. And that's okay. We're just asking to maybe bring it down so you can just deal with your life differently. So your grief isn't all consuming. We're not asking you to let go of your loved one. Trust me, I would never ask you to do that. I'm a very big fan of continuing bonds and staying connected to your loved one. But sometimes these feelings can be so big and so overwhelming, and we're in the middle of a grief burst or feeling really griefy. We sometimes need to tone it down a little bit just so we can function. Maybe we have to work or take care of kids or just be able to spend time with our family and friends. So that's what this is about, okay? So again, top of the head, I release and let it go. In between the eyebrows, I release and let it go. Next to the eyes, I release and let it go. Under the eyes, I release and let it go. Collarbone, it's safe to let it go. Wrist grab, I do let it go. Keep holding that wrist, nice deep breath in through the nose, pushing the belly out, and then nice and slowly out through the mouth. Top of head again, I release and let it go. In between the eyebrows, I release and let it go. Next to the eyes, I release and let it go. Under the eyes, I release and let it go. Collarbone, it's safe to let it go. Wrist grab, I do let it go. Nice deep breath. And I want you to check in. See that feeling that you identified initially. Has that number gone down? Has it changed at all? Maybe it's gone down just a little bit, but you want it to go down even more. Keep tapping, keep doing a few more rounds. And I bet you can get that number to a much more manageable number, something that feels better. And the last point is what's called the 9 gamut. And so that's in between the ring finger and the pinky. There's this little divot right there, and you can tap right there. And what you'd rather feel. I feel calm. I'm in control. I can handle this. Whatever it is you'd rather feel. So that's EFT and tapping. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to talk about how can you use EFT and tapping out in public or at work or other places where people aren't going to think you're maybe a little nuts from doing all the tapping all over. So stay tuned for that. Take care.